What's up, people? Welcome to the GSC Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Louchy, joined this week by Jamie C.
Hello.
And Gianni.
Hi.
There's no Gianni this week because he is off in Italy doing his Italian things with Italian people.
Serving on the front line.
Serving on the front lines.
We salute you, soldier. You're doing a great job. Bring our boys back safely.
How are you guys?
Very well.
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, Gianni's not here, so hang on. 1 second, hang on. No, fuck it. FIFA. Fucking Formula 1. Fuck. No, I haven't played anything. Right, carry on. Now we can get on with the show.
Awesome. Well, let's start, as we always do, with what we've been playing / doing this week. Jamie, you can go first.
Right, as you've just said that to me, I couldn't remember if this weekend just gone was the last Destiny beta weekend or if that was the one before.
No, it's the one just gone. The last podcast.
It was the one just gone.
The last podcast we recorded, I had not played Destiny.
Oh, so should we just should I talk about what I've been doing on my own first, and then we'll just let this Destiny gasm out, yeah?
Yeah, do it.
Right, so Rogue Legacy, that game that I played at yours a couple months ago on PC, it's finally got its release on PS4. All of the Sony, even PS1. It's out on all of their range.
Just every historical Sony platform, even Walkman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that I'm actually properly playing it, I'm not quite so shit, but I'm still shit. I'm getting there. As we were discussing before we went on, before we came on to do this, I still haven't done any of the bosses, but I'm getting there. I'm leveling up well. I think I'm like nearly level 40 now.
Have you fought the bosses though?
I lost to the giant eye, but I did that quite early on. It was silly of me to go in there, and then I nearly took down the giant skull out in the garden. So I think I could have. I think I could take the giant eye now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you should be able to. I'm guessing you do him first because the castle's a little bit easier than the rest of the places, right? Every time I go down in the dungeons, I'm like, nope, go back up. Not yet. You are not ready. But no, I'm loving the game, and it is one of those just one more life. Oh, I need to do that before I go to bed, otherwise I'll forget what I was doing. It's one of those sort of games, and I'm really impressed because there's elements of like Dark Souls. I think we spoke about that before, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Definitely feels a bit like an early learning center version of Dark Souls for me, maybe. Definitely more like My Training Wheels Dark Souls. So I'll get there. And I'm not fussed when I die, which is something that happens with Dark Souls. When I die on Dark Souls, I flip the control, I fucking go kick a pigeon and something. And
when you die in Rogue Legacy, it's progression, man, because you get to go and spend your money, and you get a new character who might have better abilities and stuff than the last one.
Or your new character might just like have IBS, just fart when they jump. That might be it. I picking up on some of those. Some of the traits, though, I'm really enjoying just that quirkiness, just that little bit of comedy in there. Just from that, like, if somebody's one of your characters might have a trait where they think everything was better in the old days, it will say. So when your screen normally says building the castle, it says like reminiscing, and then everything's in like sepia tone, and there'll be some that are colorblind, so your screen's black and white. There'll be some that make you go upside down, which is quite frustrating, but. You were saying sorry.
Shout out to my personal favourites when you have the thing that says the 1 and then it says jacking in and it's all like Matrixy, and the one where it's like over exaggerates and then like when you take damage, instead of it being 10 it's like 50,000. That's my favourite. Like, you still take the same damage but it just pops up with the number 50,000. It's awesome.
It is a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, but all in all has delivered a very solid, well thought out game for what it is. You know, like I just picked that up for $7.99, and I'm gonna get more hours out of that than I do out of some retail releases at like 55 quid a go. Like incredible game for that money. Like well done to really in this sense Sony, but Celador Games for delivering this as well. Brilliant. Yeah. I've done other stuff.
What other stuff you done?
Well, I don't know. Do I talk about The Wolf Among Us?
I think you should, because it is a fucking amazing game, and you haven't really told me what you thought of it yet. So
I put it on, and my wife watched me play the whole thing, because it's one of those games. If you've played The Walking Dead, or you've even played The Wolf Among Us, then you know. But it is just like a decision that might come back and haunt you. a little bit of action here and there, might be a little bit of quick time, but for the story alone, like fantastic. And you're talking about maybe game of the year last week, weren't you?
Yeah.
And how it's better than The Walking Dead season 1.
It won't get game of the year, but I personally think it's better than Walking Dead season 1.
See, when you said that last week, I kind of thought, this guy's mad. This is madness. How could something that's not quite so well known be better in a sense? I don't know. But no, I think I agree with you. I think this game delivers something that The Walking Dead didn't. Or maybe it's taken out some of the bits of The Walking Dead I didn't enjoy. And that would be, go get this item because that goes in this hole.
Yeah.
And then if you go get that item and then talk to that person in that order, it works. Like, that Walking Dead was more of a puzzle game with decisions, and this is more of a gritty crime drama, and you really do feel like you're watching a show. And so much so that I'm disappointed that they haven't made a TV series yet, and I hope that they do.
You text me this in the week. I got a text from you saying, like, I just want maybe like a 6-episode miniseries of this or something. And I said, I'm fairly sure it was supposed to happen. There was a deal with a network to bring Fables to the TV, and it fell through, and then Once Upon a Time happened. So I think Once Upon a Time happened because the deal for Fables fell through. So the chances of us actually getting a Fables TV series are super slim now that Once Upon a Time is a thing.
But just like the way I played that game, and if the TV series was, even if it was just exactly how I played it, and those decisions were all the same, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd want to watch that again. It was that good. Like, there are multiple possibilities, and the story could have gone other ways. And obviously, once it's a TV series, they're not limited to those choices you make in the game. They can do what they want. But like, even if it had, I'd have come away going, this is amazing, because the game is fantastic.
Let me ask you, were you playing Bigby as a nice guy, or were you playing Bigby as like a bastard?
I mean, to an extent, I was the good guy. I think my gameplay was kind of like, what's quite clear at the start of the game is that it's not a spoiler, but he loves Snow White, and he's infatuated with her, he admires her. So I kind of wanted to stay in her good books and kind of, go for that. I'm trying to straighten out. There's a lot of history because the game does play on all these fables, and there's all this talk, and everybody's saying, well, you're just the big bad wolf. And I thought, well, no, this is a chance for my character that I'm playing through to turn a new leaf and be like good guy, Big B, and like try and set things straight and be the good cop.
All right, I'm going to ask you a couple of things, like completely out of context, so as to like avoid spoilers, right? Did you rip off the arm?
No.
Did you burn the tree?
No.
Did you kill that one guy?
No.
Awesome. So you pretty much played like I did then. That's what I did, man. Right, and then the last thing I just want to mention is, at the end of episode 4, when you walked into that room, right?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Lit a fag.
That's what I did too! How cool is that, man?
This is another brilliant thing about the game as well, is that you don't have to see spoilers. You just, when you're playing through, at the end of each chapter, it gives you statistics of what other people have done. Similar to what like Catherine did with your choices in the confessional booth.
Yeah.
Which is a really nice touch, because it did turn out like quite a lot of people did the same stuff as me, and it kind of just feels like, yeah, everybody wants to be a good guy. There's hope in the world. But no, if I ever play it through again, then yeah, like I might set myself a rule that every decision is whatever's on the triangle button or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll just play it like that, try it out. Or might I just go all out bastard and just like fucking kill everything and hate everything. But no, I'm going to leave what I'm talking about there, because I'll let somebody else put Destiny in their groove.
Cool. Sweet. All right, Johnny, what have you been up to this week, dude?
What have I been up to? Just touch on the Rogue Legacy. I bought that today as well, and I beat the first boss already. I've been playing for a few hours.
Why are you so good at these games, man?
It's just...
Do you know how long I've owned Rogue Legacy for? Months. Maybe even like almost a year. And I ain't beat the first boss yet, man.
Yeah, but I bet you can, going back to it. How many times have you challenged him? Like, I didn't beat it first time. I had
tons of times. Fought him like maybe 10 times, maybe more.
Do you know what level you are?
Quite high, I think. I got like the third armor set and stuff. Like,
oh wow.
I don't know. Maybe I suck at it super bad.
It is a difficult game, obviously. Like, it's not easy. It's kind of like a bullet hell sometimes. Like, there's so many monsters and enemies on screen
that
firing.
eyeball boss, for sure, man. He's just like spraying bullets everywhere.
Yeah, he just goes mental. And I almost beat the Skull dude earlier, but I need to level up still. Yeah, just a really fun game. I won't speak too much about it because Jamie's already, spoken about it. But yeah, that's fun. What else have I done? Well, Destiny finished up. Should we talk about that now?
Go on, let's talk about Destiny.
Do it.
Okay, I think we actually mentioned a little bit before. I suppose we should leave it to your bit actually. Well, we finally all played together, and what did you guys think about that? Like how it all ran and.
That's some of the best time I've ever had online.
Yeah,
that takes me back to my Rainbow 6 days, maybe a bit of Halo 3 when we were all working together and playing Halo online. And
yeah.
What was great for me is the excitement I heard in Ben's voice over the chat.
Oh, God.
Because it told me that we actually had a game that we were going to fucking actually play together this year. That's what it told me. It was like, this isn't another Battlefield 4. We've got a game that we're latched onto, and this is like crack to Ben. So whenever I turn on my PlayStation from September 9th onwards, he is on there.
Yeah, and count me as well. It is amazing. I mean, when we took out that massive, I think it was like one of the last things we did. There was a big sort of robot in the middle, and it was like, I think it was like a high level, and it took us about 20 minutes to kill it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it was just there, and I was just like, we're killing this. So we went over and started fighting it, not knowing that it was for someone else's mission, and we were gonna have to fight it on our own mission in a few levels time. Just sat there for 20 minutes whittling away at it, man.
But it was so much fun. Even though we didn't get anything for it. But it was just, a lot of fun. It's a little bit like Monster Hunter, and obviously we love that. Just taking on these massive monsters or robots or whatever you are,
attacking their weak points to get stagger and stuff.
Yeah, and you see bits fly off them, when you attack the legs, the armor would eventually come off, and it would start dragging that foot around. I sort of love that sort of dynamic, where you sort of just see damage sort of pile up, and you make a difference.
Yeah, it's not just a health bar across the top of the screen.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's more interactive. I love those sort of elements, and I hope there's a lot more of them in the real game. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I'm super hyped for it. I've pre-ordered it already, and yeah, we had a great time playing multiplayer. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We have to make some recordings of that stuff and try and get high level. Yeah, that was good.
Just lost his train of thought.
He was so indulged in Destiny.
Yeah, I just really what else have I done? Been playing some Final Fantasy X too on the Vita.
Working on that 100%, yeah?
Yeah, that takes a long time.
Talking to every single NPC in the game, making sure you don't miss a line of dialogue.
It's not that. You don't have to do that. There are some characters which you can't skip the dialogue.
Oh, okay.
For the rest you can. You don't have to talk to everyone. But yeah, it is difficult. If you do miss talking to someone and then move on, that screws you up for 100%. So it's quite arduous, really, but I'll get it done.
Awesome, man.
It's fun. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Cool. I'm super easy because literally the only thing gaming-wise that I've done is play Destiny. And at the end of last week's podcast, or whilst you guys were talking about the beta in last week's podcast, I hadn't played it at that point. But I was super jealous that you guys had played it. And when you were saying that, the beta's down now, because it was Tuesday we recorded last week and the beta was down at that point. Luckily, it came back on Wednesday. So I had all the way up until Saturday to play it. And I played every night that week. So I got my starting character, which was the Hunter class. I believe that's what the class is. So I got up to max level. And I got all rare gear, right? Or uncommon gear, so all my gear's green. That game is so good.
It really is. What did you think of the Hunter?
It's pretty fun. Did you guys play any multiplayer? Colosseum?
No.
So Saturday, because no one else was online, I just played Colosseum. So from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, I just played Colosseum. It seems like the Hunter is maybe weaker in multiplayer, and that might be just because I'm shit at it. The multiplayer is really good, by the way. It feels like Halo. So there's deathmatch, there's capture.
Excellent.
Capture
I didn't play it actually.
Stuff. It's really sweet. You go to the multiplayer and your ship's flying through a warp thing, and then 5 other ships will join you, and they'll be your teammates. And then it's 6-on-6 battles and stuff. I don't know whether there's larger battles as well. I only really played deathmatch and capture and control, but it was really fun. The multiplayer is good, which is good because the other 2 parts of the game, the MMO part at the tower, and like the single player fire team stuff is all really good as well. So it looks like it's going to be the complete package when we get.
How do you mean that the hunter's weaker than the others?
Because I mean, the hunter's major damage is like, I guess, like the sniper, right? So sniping people, or for me anyway, for my build, I guess there's tons of different builds you can have, but mine's like a range build, so I've got like a battle rifle and my sniper rifle. So at range, I can like chip them away, or even one-shot them if I can get a headshot with the sniper. But if anyone gets up close to me, like I'm screwed, because like I just get minced straight away online. And it seems like the other powers are really good, like especially because you were playing like the magic.
I was playing Warlock.
Yeah. Warlock's power seems really, really good in multiplayer, because if you've got like a team holding capture and control point, and you use your like jump in the air like beam thing, that'll wipe the entire room, so you'll kill every single person in the blast radius.
Wow,
it's like a one-hit kill online.
Okay.
So, and the amount of times that I got killed by that, whilst like me and some of my other teammates were like capturing a point, it's crazy, man. But it was really fun though. I never felt like, oh, that's bullshit, I'm not going to play this. Like, I felt like, oh shit, like, I guess I'm going to have to not fall for that next time and stuff. You know? So I'm down for that. And then they unlocked one last mission as well as like a thank you for playing the beta. So I got to play the first mission on the moon as well.
Oh, yeah. Right, so that's what they were talking about. Because it also had an item that you keep for the game now or something.
Yeah, you get pre-order bonus. Well, like a bonus sort of thing.
Really disappointed that was the one night I couldn't play.
Yeah, I couldn't play either. I think it's like a mark, like an emblem sort of thing, which you can change. I don't think it's anything.
I don't know about that, but whilst I was on the moon, I didn't do the mission until like right at the end. I went off and I explored all the area. And like, there's like big catacombs underground and stuff that are like full of wizards and like
cannot wait
these big massive hulking things that are like trolls as well in there that I was like headshotting away. And I found a loot crate right near the bottom, innit? Yeah. Like just one of like the random loot crate spawns. And I opened it and there was a rare emblem inside of like a little bunny rabbit. Oh my god!
Wow!
So I equipped that straight away. So I'm taking that into the main game with me.
Amazing. By the way, did you collect all the golden chests?
No, I didn't.
There's 5 to collect. Yeah, I didn't do it either, but I'm not sure if that was anything. I hope that's nothing,
Maybe major. They were locked to the beta. Fuck it. Bugger.
Who knows? All I know is that I'm not playing it right now, and I wish I was playing it right now. In the back of my head, I've got that urge where like, man, you should be playing Destiny, and I'm just like, yeah, I should be.
Yeah, same here.
Destiny's not out right now, so I'm eagerly anticipating it coming out. But that's the only sort of like video gamey thing that I've done this week. It's all been other stuff that I've done this week, which I'll talk about later because it's in one of our topics. So,
great.
Cool. Well, we've only got 2 major topics this week and then some flash news because it's going to be a short one.
Mainly, like, because we've just also spooled out some big Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true.
I guess recorded separately. So
I guess we can say that. Yeah, we just literally finished recording our Guardians of the Galaxy cast. So, I guess the first piece of news that we've got is that EA has announced a new subscription service called EA Access, which is currently only available on Xbox One. In the US, it's going to be $5 a month, and in the UK, it's going to be $3.99 a month. And what this does is it offers you up access to betas for EA games. So if you're an Access member, you automatically gain access to their betas. You gain access to the game like a week early, I believe, before release, so that you can try it and then like pre-purchase it or whatever. And you also get 10% off of all of their digital content, so digital downloads of games and DLC and stuff. The reason it's only available on Xbox One though is because Sony have refused to allow it on their system,
stating that it doesn't offer like value for money.
Yeah.
Is it really that? I'd like to think it is that, because I have become quite proud of what Sony are doing with PlayStation Plus. Or is it that they don't think people would want 2 subscription services and they're happier with their PlayStation Plus service?
Well, with these subscription services, right, ultimately, if nobody on your platform subscribes to it, then like the other company that's running the subscription service is being left out or whatever, so you would end up having to pay them money.
Yeah.
So, like, if nobody on PlayStation decided to sign up for EA Access, but EA Access was there, Sony were going to end up paying money to EA for that anyway. So
yeah, so it is a case of value for money then. Like, I think maybe a lot of people online were just being quite negative from the get-go, that they're like saying bad things about Sony. I don't know. Maybe it was Phil Spencer just spamming message boards.
maybe, but I
pretending
mean,
to be.
do EA really need a subscription service? Like,
I-
as a consumer, do you really need 10% off of your FIFA gold packs or whatever for Ultimate Team or stuff like that? Like,
There is a little bit more to it. I mean, it's $5 a month in America, or you can get $30 for the whole year. And like that is early access, all that stuff you said. But it's also a case of having games available to you in full, and it's not top of the range, but you for $30 a year, Battlefield 4 is included in that as a full game. It's not just Trials, is it? It's like there's Madden, there's FIFA 14, there's another old sport one, and there's Battlefield 4, and it's the full games, right?
The list, the content that I've got here is starting with Madden NFL 25, FIFA 14, Battlefield 4, Peggle 2 during the beta period. That's another thing. The beta period is live now, right? So
Right.
you can sign up for the beta of this service today, but it's still fucking charging you monthly. How can you charge someone monthly for the beta period?
Something that we're helping you stress test, and you want to charge
That's
the full
fucking
price.
horseshit. That's launching the service and calling it a beta because if they've got fuck ups, they don't want people to complain.
Tell you what, fucking EA need isn't a new service. It's their own Phil Spencer to come in and sort things out, because they've already been counted as the worst company to work for in America. There's a lot of hate for them, and like they're just going to make people hate them even more.
Let me ask this, right? If you've got EA access, do you still have to pay for Battlefield Premium, or do you just get a discounted Battlefield Premium?
Yeah, I think it should be discounted. I guess 10%.
That's just.
See, I'm sure this is the conversation that went down at PlayStation. They were like, well, they're already paying us for PlayStation Plus, and I'm fairly sure this is gonna be how they react, and these are the questions they're gonna ask.
Yeah.
I guess we don't really want that bullshit.
Well, do you think PlayStation Now has anything to do with it as well?
Possibly, because PlayStation Now is going to be a service where you can stream older games and stuff.
Yes.
It's not going to be a subscription, though, is it? It's going to be a pay as you thing.
Yes, that's it.
And you've seen recently there's been some price changes, John.
Yes.
Well, they needed some price drops because the prices that they had up there were a bit stupid, to be honest.
It's a lot better now. I think 60 days is now $15, whereas before it was like $30.
Oh, wow. Right,
yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. And you can rent it for like 4 hours for like $3 or like 7 days for $6. So
that is such a big jump, though. I just don't. I think that 4 hours should be like $2.
Like, yeah, but they want to encourage you to go for like a week or something. Then I guess.
Yeah,
exactly. But then if a week's, I get what you're saying. Actually, yeah. Never mind.
Even then, that's still really cheap. Like you can complete a lot of games during 7 days, sort of thing.
Yeah,
and for
you book a week off work and put yourself up for that.
Not even that. I mean, some games don't even last that long. So, and you get full access to the trophies and multiplayer as well with the PlayStation Now. So it seems pretty decent. I'll give it a go. I think if it ever comes here.
Yeah, if we ever get it, that's the question, isn't it?
Because the beta is out in America now. I think it's today it came out. The beta for PlayStation.
Yeah.
A lot of success, a lot hinging on success in the West, but in America.
Cool. Well, I outside of Mass Effect, I really don't play a lot of EA games. Or outside of BioWare's stuff, I don't play a lot of EA games. So, I mean, you play a lot of you play Battlefield every time they release a new Battlefield, Johnny.
Yeah.
Would you even consider this service for like getting money off map packs and stuff?
No, I mean I don't really. I like the games, but I don't buy the season passes and I don't really buy the expansions because I think after a while it does get a bit stale. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a good sort of value for money either. The EA stuff, I just don't know why they're doing it really. I know they want money every month from you, but it just doesn't seem worth it. I mean, yeah, you get some old games and 10% off, but 10% is not that much.
Yeah. Especially when you consider online store prices, where we're looking at £55 in the UK for downloadable new releases. So you're looking at £49.50, which any sort of competitive online retailer, you'll find a cheaper price than that. So
yeah,
I think BioWare, and obviously I play FIFA. Gianni will be there as well on FIFA.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I have pre-ordered my FIFA, and I'm going to pay £45 for that. Dragon Age, that's another one I'm getting from them.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
want
it
Dragon
this
Age.
year. I think I'm not going to get Hardline. I'm not. You know,
Well, Hardline's
Yeah.
next year now anyway.
is it all right? Cool. Well, there we go then. So my EA year is shaping up to be
Just Dragon Age.
Dragon Age and FIFA.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't really care I don't do Ultimate Team stuff on FIFA, so I'm not bothered about discounting any packs or anything. I just want to play the game.
The thing that I'm worried about now is that Ubisoft will do something similar, and then we'll just like have all the main companies trying to like, oh, you know, if they're going to release this subscription-based thing and people pay for it, why shouldn't we? Because Ubisoft have a huge library and they could easily do the exact same thing.
Ultimately, I think like EA are the first ones taking the plunge here, and personally, I wouldn't even dream of signing up for a service like this.
No.
PlayStation Plus, I sign up for because it's a wide variety of things that go into that discount. Like, it's discounts on basically everything in the PlayStation Store whenever sales happen and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
now
for the
also that
discount.
now that you also have to pay to play online with them anyway,
Yeah.
it's all included in one, and you do get some great games for free
even-
every month.
Exactly. Even if I didn't have to pay to play online, I would still be a PlayStation Plus subscriber because
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
the massive
I have been.
library that I have sat there that I have access to now through PlayStation Plus, any of those old games that I've downloaded before for PlayStation Plus, I have access to download again if I want to, so long as I'm a member. I've got like a huge catalogue there.
Same
And
here. I've got Metal Gear Solid Rising just sitting upstairs on my PS3. Like, I need to play through that at some point.
Like,
But it's something here, isn't it? We've made a point that we would pay for this in-house service that these providers have. Like, I had Xbox Gold when I was on there. You know, you had to have that to play online anyway. But still, like, they're getting better with their games for Gold, and if you're going to pay to play online anyway, it's there. But ultimately, I do hope this thing with EA fails, because if it is successful, you're right, Johnny. We could look at seeing like Ubisoft doing it next, and you don't want to go this way. Like, the worry then is like how long until nobody owns games because everything is a provided service. You don't want that at all.
yeah.
Mm.
You know. So
I'm right there with you, man. Like, it's not a direction that I would want to see the industry take. So
So yeah, hopefully it fails. I think we all want it to fail, don't we?
we want you to fail.
Fail, EA.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Cool. The next thing I wanted to talk about is something that Johnny actually brought up to me the other day, and I thought it was kind of interesting, so I kind of wanted to get Jamie's feedback on it as well, and Gianni's, but he's not here, so fuck him. And that's that Johnny mentioned that he's been playing a lot of board games and stuff recently, and a lot of tabletop games, and I've been recently getting into sort of tabletop games and like more traditional role-playing games and stuff like that. And Johnny was saying that like he thinks it might be something to do with like the lack of local co-op games, and I think I might agree with him, because when I was younger and I had friends round, or I was round at friends' houses, we'd put on a game and we'd be playing local co-op on a game, and that's what we'd do. That's how we'd like socialize and stuff. But due to the lack of like local co-op games these days, or the lack of games that like you have access to local co-op, even if it's just a case of like playing a game and somebody drops in as just a clone of the main character just so you can play together, it just doesn't really happen anymore. So I found myself playing a lot of like more traditional games, like tabletop games, card games, stuff like that. And I don't know whether you noticed a trend in that, Jay, at all. Like I certainly seem to think that it could be linked.
I don't know, because I mean, with things like these board games and these card games you play, I do have a lot of friends on Facebook who maybe when I met them and just talked to them normally, I didn't see this side of them. But then once I have them on Facebook, I suddenly see that they go LARPing and they go to like special gatherings to play Magic the Gathering and whatever. They have this sort of thing set up, and it kind of takes me by surprise a little bit, because maybe for myself, when I look at maybe this local co-op missing now, you have to remember that I've got a wife and a son here. So
Yeah.
I do play some games with them. It's not necessarily the way I would have done it in the past, but because I'm also in my own little world with them, I don't see so much of it that you guys do. So maybe you crave it a little bit more now than I do because of that factor.
Possibly.
But like I had this conversation with my wife the other day, and it was kind of along the lines of, if I had a choice of what I've got now in gaming like technological advances and playing like the likes of The Last of Us, like how good that looks, or if I could just go back and have an N64 with friends and play those games, I'd go back. Like I'd want that. I'd want to go back and I'd want to play. Like I was saying about how ISS 64, I've never played a game as much as I've played that. And like things like WWF No Mercy and like WCW, the Nitro game on the 64 as well. There are some, and GoldenEye, of course. There are some games there that had that local co-op that I'd go back and do that. I mean, these single player games now, like say The Last of Us, yeah, it looks great and it plays great, and story now with so much, But
yeah, everything's just online now. That's the thing. Like, rarely will you find a game where you can just sit next to each other and play. You have like, okay, well, you go home and then we can play online.
Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, like, even up to a few years ago, I was playing local co-op games. Like, I once had a get together thing at my friend Matt's place where we had like 3 Xboxes networked together, and we there was 8 or 12 of us playing Halo, man, all in the same house, and that was awesome. But like, what game sort of offers you that kind of experience these days? It's almost like it's gone, man.
But look at the effort for that as well. That's 3 TVs, 3 sets of consoles. Obviously the amount of controllers is relative to the amount of people playing, but that's still a lot of. There must have been a lot of sweat in that room with the heat from. It was
nerdy as fuck, man. But
yeah,
like, it doesn't change the fact that even if there was only 4 of us, that was 4 of us that could play split screen and stuff.
Yeah,
and like, I mean, games still do that. There are still games that have 4-player split screen, but it's like a very select amount now.
Basically, it's the Wii U. Like, that's where most of the multiplayer stuff is, I think.
But they're also an afterthought now as well. Like, having that local co-op seems to be an afterthought.
Yeah.
Very rarely does it work as a benefit to the game. I think the Mario games will always be, Mario Kart. Smash Bros, obviously, you want to sit and play local co-op on that. There's no doubt. When that comes out, there's no doubt, we're going to be doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we did try the recent Mario 3D World together, didn't we? 4-player.
That was fun, though. Come on.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's a good laugh.
Mario Kart's great.
Mario Kart, you want that. Like, I could play Mario Kart online, but I'd just be missing people being sat there with me so I could laugh at them or hit them when I get blue shelled. Yeah. I
guess my main point is that, like, it's something that I've personally noticed, like, in myself. I mean, until very recently, I wasn't really into any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, same
here.
So,
yeah, literally within, like, the last half a year, like, gaming is, like, my passion. That is what I do, In my spare time, if I have a choice of something to do, it would be, like, play video games. But because I've been hanging out with, like, friends way more often, and, like, video games just aren't really a thing anymore in that sort of situation, we've ended up playing a lot more board games, tabletop games and shit. I started playing Magic the Gathering and stuff, and I'm really enjoying it, but I feel like I'm really enjoying it because, like, the video game alternative isn't there anymore, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah. But these are people that have already let go of that as well. Like, you talk about gaming being your passion. Maybe for those people it wasn't necessarily a greater passion for them in recent times, so they were able to let go a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
so that's how it's latched you on.
Yeah, maybe you're right, man. It's just I thought it was kind of interesting when Johnny mentioned it. That it might be worth discussion.
Yeah.
No, I think it's important, and the thing is, like, there are some board games that are quite straightforward, and they're quite inexpensive. They're really easy to pick up and play. But there are also some, and we were talking about this earlier. You look at things like the Warhammer figurines, right?
Oh God!
This is something that can rack up a massive price, and that side of thing, I wouldn't blame people for being put off of it because of the pricing.
Oh, mate, of course. Like, Warhammer as a hobby, you're looking at, like, an entry fee of, like, at least £300 to get into that hobby. So
yeah,
which, I mean, when you think about, like, a games console being about that much as well, it's kind of similar, but there's alternatives to gaming, You can, like, game on your mobile, which you've bought for other things, and, like, you game on your DS that you got for £100 and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there is no alternative to that, man. So, I don't know.
I mean, we talk. I make it sound like it's not really my thing, but something that is a board game, and it might go a bit of a miss here, but I'm a massive chess fan. And that's probably something you guys don't see because it's something we don't do together.
Yeah.
But, like, I will play chess long into the night You know, I will sit there with a little bit of whiskey and a pipe, and I will fucking play chess on minus the pipe. Obviously, I don't have one of those, but I would do that. And you might have seen me play chess once or twice, but I'm happily there to play chess. I would do that. And I did say earlier I want to play Risk. I've never played Risk.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
It's something that I'm kind of like drawn to, but like I've never known anybody that plays it, so I don't know what it is. I know it's only a board game, and it's not on the level of board games that you guys are talking about. It's more towards like the family and Monopoly side of things.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Still, it's closer to what you're doing than the others.
I used to play a lot of Puerto Rico. That's a really good like board game for the family sort of thing. Yeah, Puerto Rico. And recently we're playing the Settlers of Catan, which is really fun as well. It's I think it's just being with other people. You know, just being with other people in the same room is a huge difference than being on a headset and just talking over the internet. It's just not the same, is it? It's not.
And it's not. We talk about the board games as well, as opposed to like local gaming as well. With local gaming, you're all looking at a screen, and it's quite intense. But with a board game, you can kind of get up, move around, have a bit of a laugh. You know, nothing's so time constrained there. There's nothing so time constrained. There's not such a time constraint there. You could just have a bit of a chilled atmosphere with board gaming, I suppose. Yeah. You can't have with video gaming.
Cool. I don't know what point I'm trying to make with this, so I'm going to move on. Jamie.
It was open topic.
Yeah.
Jamie. Yeah. You got some Flash news for us, man. Hit us.
Right. Trials Fusion. You know that game. We love it. It's sold over 1 million copies already, so well done, Trials Fusion. Is it Red Links?
Red Links, yeah.
I should have put that in the notes there. Right. Something that might have been cleared up between now and when I actually wrote these notes up. But 2K UK had tweeted a picture of Eve's Garden, which is a location in Poseidon's Plaza in Rapture. So people will know that from BioShock.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we getting out there? Are we teasing a new game? Have you seen anything on it now? Has it been cleared up, or is it just still that picture? I should have done my fact finding.
I think it's still literally just that. There hasn't been any sort of like follow up to it.
So we obviously know what happened. Irrational Games have like closed their doors or whatever. Or they've downsized, and there's been a lot of massively cut back. And do we still have a little team working on that rumored BioShock Vita? Because I'd like to see that.
That's never happening.
If it had been just BioShock 1 re-released on the Vita, I think people would have been quite happy with that. There's also been talk of like a new style of BioShock game, almost like maybe like a BioShock meets XCOM. I don't know. I think I read something about that being rumored, or maybe it was just some like fan page where people want it. Yeah. But now that I'm talking about it, I'd quite like to see that.
I'd definitely try it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, that was it for like gaming Flash news.
Good times, man.
Sorry. There's a little bit about movies, though.
GSC Gaming Podcast, love us.
I tell you why there's not so much on the gaming side, because we've come out of Comic-Con San Diego this last weekend as well. So whereas we've spent a lot of time gaming, a lot of people have been there doing that thing, and that's all movies, stuff like that. But some things we did get out of that, is that the Uncharted movie we've been told it will be in cinemas in time for E3 2016.
Awesome.
What I would have liked to have done before this podcast is maybe sent you guys a text asking who your perfect role was to play Nathan Drake. I don't know.
Now I'm thinking Chris Pratt would do a good job as Nathan Drake.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
After seeing Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
That's a good point. That's because obviously people's choice years ago was Nathan Fillion, but he's too old.
I wouldn't mind if Nathan Fillion played like Sully, though. He could do it.
He could definitely do it, yeah. You think about it that way. You'd have to have quite a young Drake, though, at that point, wouldn't you?
I think Bradley Gyllenhaal would be great.
Bradley Gyllenhaal, yeah?
Yeah.
Maggie Jigglybits.
Or Jake Cooper would be great.
Right. Connecting the two together there, you'll have to listen to the Guardians podcast to get that reference. Listen to us as we know nothing about the actors we're talking
about. Just me,
No, I'm not putting myself in that. I love Bradley Cooper, and if you listen to the Guardians podcast, I just sucked him off for 20 minutes. Sony have also confirmed the Last of Us movie while they were at Comic-Con. So they're like, they had a big poster, and it just basically said The Last of Us Now, a movie or something. I don't know. I can't think of the actress's name because I don't think it's relevant. But then
She plays Arya in Game of Thrones, is what you're
Yeah, I was going to say, Ben, that little girl instantly got linked to Ellen Page's character from The Last of Us. Sorry,
they're in talks with her. So
yeah, okay, so that's moving forward from when I wrote these notes up.
I'm way more excited about the idea of a Last of Us movie than I am about the Uncharted movie. Mainly because I know Druckmann's writing The Last of Us and he wrote the game. So
and you can't knock that at all.
Exactly.
Well, The Last of Us Remastered is, by the time this goes out, we'll be playing it. I'll be playing it.
Yep.
My copy preloaded or whatever. So it's a game that you have to revisit. It was a great bit of storytelling. But for me, the worry is that I'm not so good at like the sort of horror stuff in cinemas.
Yeah.
It might go proper super creepy. I'm going to get my facts mixed up, but did I see Sam Raimi attached to produce it as well?
I think Sam Raimi's directing, actually.
Directing, right.
Druckmann's writing and Raimi's directing.
I've got a lot of time for Raimi, but I think he's probably putting his fingers in a lot of pies and he's losing. I don't know. Oz was good. He directed that recently. And I think the sour taste of Spider-Man 3 and maybe that whole trilogy for some just sticks in the mouth of a lot of people. But let's not forget Evil Dead. Like, I've recently watched those again on Blu-ray and they're brilliant films. Brilliant film.
So good. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness in particular. Evil Dead 1 almost felt like the concept for Evil Dead 2, and then Evil Dead 2 is just such a good movie, man.
That is something I said at a young age. I watched them both back to back, and I went, well, I'm just watching the same film with a different production value right now, aren't I? They are very similar, minus the tree rape.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they souped it up and got rid of the stuff that would get it banned.
Yeah.
So that was all right. But speaking of Evil Dead, they've confirmed the TV series now as well, with Bruce Campbell attached to star.
In an Evil Dead TV series or a Army of Darkness TV series?
Evil Dead.
So
would you have...
I would have preferred an Army of Darkness TV series for Bruce Campbell.
Well, I don't know where this puts it, but after the Evil Dead film we got last April, they were talking about an Army of Darkness 2 being made, and then a new Evil Dead 2, and that they would link together. So I don't know where we stand with those now if we're getting an Evil Dead TV series. But I'd like to... Maybe it's going to have some sort of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel thing going on to it, where Bruce Campbell will do this TV series first.
Yeah.
And it might tie into the new films of the Evil Dead.
It could work, man. The thing is, the new Evil Dead, the one that we saw last year, was like that is a straight up like horror movie, right? There was no like humor or anything in that film. That was just a straight up gore fest horror movie.
That was avert your eyes now, children. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like the old Evil Dead, like some of the stuff in that was like hilarious, man. Like in Evil Dead and especially in Army of Darkness, which was like way more comedic than Evil Dead 2. But even Evil Dead 2 was funny with the severed hand flipping him off and stuff, and like the random crazy outbursts and that.
But were they funny for is that generation? Is that what they wanted in cinemas, as opposed to now?
Yeah,
horror fans now don't want the comedy attached to it, because I mean something that definitely ruined. It wasn't so much horror, but something that ruined that sort of like horror into comedy was going to be the Scary Movie series and things like that. All of these sort of Airplane rip-offs now ruin the idea of putting comedy and horror in the same place.
Yeah, I guess it's a completely different playing field now, isn't it? So I guess you got a point. Never mind.
No, don't never mind me, Ben.
Never mind.
You're making a valid point. Also, it's a discussion.
Never mind.
This isn't a fucking high school debate.
I'm never minding because I don't know where I'm going now.
Right. Okay. Well,
just trying to breeze away from it.
No worries. Well, last but not least, for some maybe, is that you can now watch 3D Blu-rays on your PS4. That's a thing.
Great.
I'm quite happy about the idea, but I don't have a 3D television, and you'd have to do a lot to put one in my house. It would have to be included in when I do finally get I want a 50-inch TV next. If it's not going to cost me more to have the 3D compatibility, then maybe.
The price is coming down, so I think.
I mean, if it's a choice between a 3D TV and like a 4K TV, I think I'd rather go for a 4K TV.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'd rather have a crisper image than one that's supposed to be coming out of the screen at me or whatever. I don't know. 3D. I mean, we just watched Guardians in 3D today, but that's a different kettle of fish. That's something completely different. In a cinema, where you're dealing with these expensive projectors, that's something different to putting like a £700 TV in your house.
3D is awesome in the cinema. I didn't even mention it in the Guardians podcast, but there was a bit where one of Drax's knives got flicked out of his hand and it flew at the camera, and I flinched.
That's exactly what I did. I flinched that bit as well. I hope everyone noticed. I flinched.
I flinched hard. I was like, shit.
Yeah. Same here.
That's why it works, man. I don't think that would have worked in my house. Like, if I sat on my sofa away from my TV, I don't think I would have flinched. So
I flinched at that. I thought I was the only one.
3D for cinemas, man.
But this is why I said to you guys, like, we sit on the front row, and especially for 3D, because I want to look at the screen, and I think that fully just engages me in 3D if I'm going to watch 3D. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll try it out again. There'll be another shit example of 3D soon, but we'll see. But I mean, Avengers didn't have great 3D.
I thought 3D was okay.
It was all right.
It was all like it was all post production, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you could tell though.
It's an afterthought. I think the worst I've ever seen is the Alice in Wonderland film, and the best I've ever seen is probably Tintin or How to Swing a Dragon 1. Those are the sort of films where it works. That sort of CGI animated film, it lends itself to it so easily.
That's true.
It's easier to bend your mind into thinking it's there, man.
Yeah.
Engaging you in it. But no, that's it this week.
But we are done then, I guess. Yeah. That is the end. That is podcast 41. Without Gianni, how hollow did that feel to everyone listening? Felt hollow to me. I miss you, Gianni. Should we just put his face up? Just put his face up right now.
Yep.
Yeah? Do you see his face? Look at the sad puppet, man.
This is intimate and connection.
Sweet. Well, we're on Twitter. You can find us at gsc_games. We're also on Facebook. Search for us at the same thing. If you want to get in contact with any of us individually, our Twitter tags will be down in the description. Leave us a like and a comment if you are interested in anything we said, and we will see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.